Hi, Bob. Are you going to Jeff's party tonight?
What party?
You're joking. Jeff hasn't invited you. You two used to be such friends.
Well, I thought we still were.
Do you remember that time on his stag night when you ended up handcuffed to that lady tramp?
Can we leave the subject alone?
It must be your promotion.
Eh?
He sees you as the enemy now.
Enemy?
Well, he was fired from Redware. You can't blame him for feeling sore with the management.
I don't see what that's got to do with it. I'm not management.
Ah, but you're getting a new car.
So what does that mean? Now, despite what you may think, no one's told me that I've been promoted.
Oh, I see.
That's charming, isn't it? Like, my old mates won't talk to me because they think I joined the bosses, and the management won't promote me, even though I'm virtually running the department.
But everyone assumed you'd got Lee's job when he moved over to run production.
Yeah, well, you assumed too much, didn't you?
I'm sorry, Bob. I'm sure Jeff would like to see you tonight anyway.
What's he celebrating?
Well, apparently he's got this great new job. He's moved over to another software house, only in a much higher position. I could call him and get you an invite.
No. No thanks, Brenda. I think I'll stay in and wash my hair.
Oh, suit yourself. It's going to be a great bash.
Sure. When one of the candidates withdrew, the job went to Harry Howell. It was a unanimous decision.
Good. I'm glad you could all agree. It's crucial that we get this new guy, Harry
Howell.
Hits the ground running.
Sure.
I've been looking at the figures. Sales are down again this month.
Well, the portfolio of products is getting old.
And you are rapidly being overtaken by the competition.
That's why we're investing in the new product lines.
John, Softex is not a bottomless pit. The whole group's growth is slowing, and I don't have to tell you what that's going to do to our share price.
And those valuable stock options you're sitting on.
Well, you haven't actually gone unrewarded in the past. In fact, I don't even know why you're bothering with Redware. If I were in your shoes, I'd be looking toward retirement.
Like David? I'm not ready to go just yet, man. I guess it's more than the money that motivates me. I still got a kick out of the job, you see. Building something up that wasn't there before.
That's all very well for you, John. But I'd rather like to catch in some of my options before the end of the year. If your experiments with Redware go wrong, then the Softex share price will turn cold turkey.
And if I succeed and I turn it round, your options will make you a millionaire overnight, correct? It's happened before.
How can we be so sure you still have the old magic? The news from Mexico isn't good.
I might have to go back there and take a look for myself.
With Redware in its current mess, I'd prefer it if you could concentrate on getting this acquisition cash positive. Harry wants to be brought up to speed. I need a quick win, John. The city boys love a quick win.
There you are. License disc and insurance cover note. The car gets delivered tomorrow.
Fine. Put them down there.
You don't seem very excited.
It's just a car.
What happened to the 16-valve turbocharged Go Faster ego booster?
It's going to take a lot more than a lump of metal to boost my ego.
What's the problem?
Well, I just don't know where I stand anymore. I mean, it was good of Lee to, prove the new car, but quite frankly, what I need now is a new sense of direction.
And you're not getting it from Lee.
Well, I hardly see him anymore. He spends most of his time developing hardware with Nigel.
Perhaps this is your opportunity to carve out your own niche.
Dig my own grave, more like.
You really are depressed.
Well, things could be brighter.
I watched some stuff on 20 Steps about motivation. Maybe you should have a look at it. Might give you some hints.
Yeah, okay. I've got nothing else to do tonight. Thanks, Susan.
So as soon as I've got all the results in from the beta trialists, I'll email you a summary.
Yeah, fine. John, come on in.
Not disturbing you, am I?
No, not at all. We're working on the brief for the launch.
Ah, great. We need to move that real fast. Now, which agencies are you briefing?
The usual one. Oh, I know them very well. As soon as I call them, they'll drop everything.
Yeah, because Harry Howell is going to want to be involved on this, Why don't you put the thing out to tender between 2 or 3 agencies? Give him a call, see which one he recommends.
Is that wise, John? I mean, Harry's going to want to get his feet under the desk before he starts getting involved in a campaign. And of course, he's working out his notice with his present company.
Yeah, he's being released from his contract real soon, almost immediately. Good news, huh? Means he can start next week. Reminds me, better get Jenny to fix him an office.
A bit short of space.
Well, he can have my new office. I'll be only too happy to move back in with Bob.
You sure?
Absolutely. Then sales and marketing will be next door to each other.
Yeah, how'd you feel, Mike? I mean, you're going to be working with Harry on the launch.
Sure. I'll show him the ropes.
But it's essential we get AS400 out into the market as successfully and quickly as possible.
For the last 11 years, since I finished my art training, I've been making jewellery and small objects from anodised aluminium. When I left school for 5 years, I worked in retailing for Heels and Liberties. I was going to become a buyer, but became extremely bored. It simply wasn't creative enough. In the end, I felt I really needed to go to art college and learn how to design and make things myself. I love the uncertainties, I love the freedom, I love the fact that this whole thing exists because I make it exist. It goes on being very uncertain. It may or may not be as good next year as it is this year. That is absolutely up to me and what I'm doing, not only in terms of design and the actual creative aspects of my work, but also how I run it, how I handle the money, whether I am good at dealing with the buyers. Every single aspect of what I do is my responsibility, and I enjoy that.
Jane starts any project, bracelet or earrings, by painting and drawing out a template to place onto the aluminium.
The thing that spins me off and gets me going is the excitement of responding to things. And there'll always be something new to respond to, an exhibition, a mood I have. At the moment, for instance, I'm very excited about the colours of the inside of irises. And I can't wait. I'm working a lot with purple and green. And that is enough. That's just very, very exciting. On the kind of day-to-day level, often it is about the fulfilment of orders, of commitments and money, and it's about pride in professionalism and not letting people down, being well thought of.
It's one thing finding out what motivates you, but what about motivating others?
I think the key to getting people as motivated as possible is giving them respect and actually allowing them to use their own abilities. One of the things that I do that I really enjoy is I take placement students, and they will be in my workshop for maybe a month, maybe for 3 months, and I enjoy working with them and giving them as much freedom as I can, but introducing them to my work so that they understand how it's done. But in the end, they're always going to find their own way of doing what I do. I can't make them be me.
So is Jane's success based on her motivation as a businesswoman or as an artist?
Every disaster I've ever had, design-wise, has been when I've been trying to read the market. I've done other work where a lot of the things that motivate me, the accidents that happen when colours blend, I've deliberately eliminated from the work so that I don't get the accidents, I don't get the mistakes. And the work has been rather sterile, and it hasn't sold. As a result, the best things I do are the things that I feel passionately that I want to do, and they tend to sell. After 11 years, I think I worked out there's something like 1/3 pieces of my jewellery being, well, having been worn at least once by somebody, or at least given to them. I enjoy that. I feel very proud of that. I feel terribly proud when people tell me how much they enjoy wearing my work and come back and buy more from me. And I enjoy the good reputation that I've been able to build for myself within that. Those, I think, are the key areas of job satisfaction.
That's a bit arty for me.
At least she seems to be in charge of her own destiny. I'm off. I've already seen this next one. It's much more your style.
Frontline is one of the UK's top computer distributors, buying from manufacturers and selling on to the trade. They're based in Basingstoke in Hampshire. Today is what Frontline call a call-out or spiff day, when the combined might of the sales team is focused on one particular product.
Today you've got a multi-tech call-out day in case you haven't guessed. The deal for you guys, every time you sell PCMCIA, you get £10. That's £10 in your hand, okay? And we've got £10 notes here that have got your names on them.
The product that's being promoted today is a modem, the equipment that allows computers to communicate down phone lines.
Spiff days are another form of advertising. A manufacturer can spend an absolute fortune trying to promote their products. One of the best ways that they can promote their products within a company is to have 100 or 120 people on the telephones saying their name over and over again to every contact that comes through. And the way that we do that is we incentivise the salespeople to talk about the products by offering them gifts or money or, something at the end of the day.
A pirate theme also adds to the fun of the event.
I'd say if you asked our salespeople out on the sales floor what motivates them, and there's probably two main things. One is recognition and success, because I don't think you can part those two, and the other is money.
Multi-tech order!
People are motivated by different things. Recognition and success is very high on the list, but wave a few £10 notes in front of a young person who's going out on a Friday night to have a few beers, and that motivates them too.
17 modems, £170.
170. Brilliant. Well done. Thanks very much. Nice one. Cheers. Different people have different motivations. For me, it's money.
Largely cash, or obviously I wouldn't be in the sales environment.
The more I sell, then the more money I'm going to get.
This is what works within the computer industry. It might not necessarily work in a different industry, but the type of people that we have working for us is, this is what actually turns them on. This is what gives them a buzz.
30 units, £300.
There you go.
Thank you.
Come on, guys, sell some multi-tech. Next one in Nationals that sells multi-tech gets an order, you get a bottle of rum.
I'd say the most important thing is actually recognition here, because you do actually get recognised once you actually sort of doing a certain amount of business, or you're seen to be plugging away.
I always like a challenge, and you come in and you've got to reach a target, and that's the challenge. That's what really motivates me, is having a target and trying to reach it.
It's for a young company. There's a lot going on. They tend to look after their sales agents very well, their account managers, in terms of they take us out when they can and produce a very happy atmosphere within the company.
It's good fun to come into work, especially on a day like today.
Would you like a bottle of rum? Just sell some multi-tech for us then.
Multi-tech order!
Multi-tech order!
So the thing to remember about motivation is that there are always going to be as many different strokes as you have folks working for you. And all you can do is create an environment where people's self-motivation can really work.
Ah, Bob, there you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. Well, hurry up. The party's already started.
I'm not going. I wasn't invited.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Everyone's going. Bob, it's not like you to play the recluse.
No, if Jeff wanted me to go, he would have invited me.
Tell you what, come as my guest. Jeff told me to bring a partner.
You want me to come as your partner?
Guest.
Well, whatever. Yeah, great.
Well, hurry up then.
And what time of the morning do you call this?
Oh, hi Lee. What are you doing here?
I'm moving back in.
All right. Fine.
You don't mind, do you? There's loads of room here.
Mind? Why should I mind?
Do I detect a hint of sarcasm?
Oh, no. Why would I be sarcastic? I mean, you breezed out of here 2 months ago to go and run production. You hardly have 2 words to say to me during that time, so I haven't got a clue what I should be doing or what my status is in the department, and now you're back as though nothing's happened. Now, to be honest, Lee, I don't know why I put up with you. I've got a good mind to go and join HTP like Jeff.
You what? Jeff has joined HTP?
Yeah, that's right. I was at his party last night. He's really over the moon. They've given him this great job running the market research department.
What, Jeff? The Jeff that Mike fired from sales?
The very same. Just proves there's life after Redware.
But how did he manage that? Head of market research? He was just a junior salesman on Mike's team. That's a hell of a jump.
And that's why I threw a party. And that's why I invited half our sales team to rub it in. I'll tell you, he's really opened my eyes. He reckons he could swing me a job at HTP. He told me it's time I started thinking about number 1.
If I were you, I'd start thinking about an aspirin. I've got to go to a management meeting. Aspirin.
Well, it was Susan who told me. According to her, Bob is severely demotivated at the moment. He's talking about resigning.
Oh, great. Well, that's all we need.
He's got a lot more on his plate now that he fills in for Lee.
Why don't we wait for Lee, hear what he thinks?
Face it, John, Lee has mismanaged his software team. I warned him he was starting to run before he could walk, and now he's lurching from crisis to crisis.
Mike, you know that's not true.
I just hope he can deliver on AS400. My team can't sell a product that doesn't exist. Ah, Lee. We were just talking about our plans for the new product launch.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about Bob Devlin here.
Bob? What about him?
Now, would you say that he is positively motivated at the moment?
Bob? Well, he should be. He's taken delivery today of his new company car. It's a real bay puller. That's the only motivation that Bob needs.
Now, what motivates people varies from person to person and from time to time.
Motivation is a very complex issue.
There are 2 types of motivation, extrinsic and intrinsic.
Concentrate. This is important.
Extrinsic motivators come from outside the individual, things like extra pay, holidays.
New company car.
Whereas intrinsic motivators come from within. They can be things like personal ambition, achievement, autonomy, sense of purpose. It's a feeling that you know what's going on. You know, you're doing a good job.
So what is the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivators?
Well, people cite extrinsic reasons for leaving a job. Things like the pay was too low, I was offered a better company car elsewhere. Yet, when you ask someone why they enjoy working somewhere, they usually refer to the intrinsic motivators, like I like the team that I'm working with. I think my job is interesting. I have clear goals. I know what I'm expected to achieve. That kind of thing.
So when someone resigns, they blame the things they have no control over. But real motivation comes from within, from the things they do control.
Correct.
So you're saying that Bob doesn't have enough control over his own destiny?
That's how it looks to me.
No, that is ridiculous. I control Bob's work. He knows exactly what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, what happens now that your attention's divided between software and production?
Well, I guess I just let him get on with it. I assume that if he has a problem, he'll come to me.
So Bob is effectively running software?
No, he's not. I am.
But you're never there.
Well, I will be when I move back into his old office. Look, I can't be in 2 places at the same time.
Why are you moving offices?
Well, we thought it would make sense if Harry took Charles's old office.
I'm happier back in software. It gives me more space. And besides, I'll be able to keep a closer eye on Bob.
You really don't get it, do you, Lee?
What now?
One moment you're giving Bob all the responsibility for running software, but none of the recognition. And now you're muscling back in. And I bet you haven't consulted him about it.
I'm surprised he hasn't resigned already.
You think he'd resign? Well, come to think of it, he did mention to me this morning he was thinking of taking a job with HTP.
HTP? What chance do we have of launching AS400 while we're pushing our own people into the arms of our competitors? First it was Charles, then Bob. I mean, the whole thing is a shambles.
No, apparently it's Jeff that's trying to get him to join.
Jeff?
What, Jeff in sales? The one you fired, Mike?
Apparently he walked straight to HTP and got a job as head of market research.
Jeff was a junior salesman. There's no way that he's qualified.
Unless, of course, he had some market information about AS400.
You think he's the mole and not Charles?
What does he know about our product?
I can't be sure.
Jeff was on the testing program.
Testing program?
When the software is in final trials, we give it to some members of staff for a month. They feedback what they think of it. We call them beta trials. Jeff was the only beta trial in sales.
And Mike, when you fired Jeff in the pub, I suppose you ensured that he didn't take any software with him?
Actually, we are still waiting for him to return his laptop.
Oh, nice one, Mike.
At least now we know who the mole is.
I knew it couldn't have been Charles.
But where does that leave me with Bob?
Look, Bob has to believe that he's master of his own destiny. Now, you are going to have to give up some of your power and your status to him. Either that or lose him.
You'd better have a word with Bob before someone from HTP does.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. That was a good night. Yeah, Jeff, yeah, just like the old times. Yeah, apart from me not getting handcuffed to her. Ah, so you're serious about that offer? Yeah, well, I'll have to think about it. Well, it really depends on the situation here. Yeah, well, I have to admit, it sounds tempting. Yeah. Anyway, look, I've got to go. Yeah, I'll call you. Cheers, mate. So, what can I do for you, Ms. Carlton?
I just wanted to say thank you for accompanying me to the party last night.
Oh, pleasure's all mine.
Told you Jeff would be pleased to see you. Anyway, what were you two chatting about for so long?
Ah, just old times.
You're not thinking of joining HTP, are you?
What makes you say that?
He tried the same number on me last month.
And what did you say?
Well, I know he's an old friend of yours, but to tell you the truth, when he was working here in sales, I never really liked him.
No?
He's not what you might call the trustworthy type.
No, you're right. He'd sell his grandmother for air miles.
And handcuff his best friend to a tramp.
So, you turned down his offer?
It wasn't hard.
Hi, Rebecca.
Thanks again for coming with me last night.
We must do it again, yeah?
Are you feeling okay yet?
Never better.
Bob, I wonder whether we might have a chat.
What about?
About you, actually.
Go on.
Well, I don't want you to think that my moving back in here means that I'll be taking over again.
Taking over what?
Your position.
What position?
Deputy Director of Software Development.
But I never was Deputy Director of Software Development.
You are now.
Sorry to interrupt, but I've got some bad news, Bob.
Bad news? What?
The garage just phoned. Your new car fell off the transporter last night. It's going to be a couple of weeks before it's repaired.
Oh, that's all right, Susan. It'll wait. I'm not going anywhere.